Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today, we are rewinding back the clock to explore one of modern football's most complicated origin stories. Frank Lampard's tumultuous time at West Ham United. It's a tale of nepotism accusations, immense pressure, and the forging of a Premier League legend in the fiery cauldrons of East London. Frank Lampard Jr. was, of course, West Ham royalty from birth. His father, Frank Lampard Sr., was a club legend, a two-time FA Cup winner with over 600 appearances for the Hammers. It seemed written in the stars that young Frank would follow in those legendary footsteps. He joined the West Ham Academy as a schoolboy, and the pathway to the first team seemed clear. In 1994, an event occurred that would define Frank's early career. His uncle, Harry Redknapp, was appointed West Ham manager, with his dad, Frank Sr., becoming his assistant. This family connection was a double-edged sword. On one hand, it gave him a direct line to the management. On the other, it painted a huge target on his back. Lampard made his senior debut in January 1996, coming on as a substitute against Coventry City. Later that year, he was sent on loan to Swansea City to gain valuable first-team experience, a move that proved crucial for his development. He returned to West Ham a more robust and confident player, ready to stake his claim for a place in the starting 11. But breaking into that West Ham midfield was no easy task. The team was brimming with talent. You had the likes of John Moncur and the enigmatic Eyal Berkovic. However, it was the partnership of Scott Canham and Matt Holland in the reserves that many fans and pundits believed were ahead of Lampard in the pecking order. This brings us to one of the most infamous moments in English football history, the 1996 West Ham Supporters Club Forum. A fan stood up and publicly questioned Harry Redknapp's decision to let Canham and Holland leave, while seemingly favoring his nephew Frank. The fan accused Redknapp of nepotism, suggesting Lampard was only in the team because of his family ties. Redknapp's response has since become legendary. He leaped to his nephew's defense with a fiery passion. He famously declared, "I'm telling you now, he will go right to the very top." Right to the very top. He predicted Frank would not only play for England but become a top midfielder. It was a bold, defiant statement. A manager putting his entire reputation on the line for a young player under immense scrutiny. That moment cranked up the pressure on Lampard to astronomical levels. Every touch, every pass, every shot was now judged through the lens of that heated exchange. Was he good enough? Or was he just the manager's nephew? The fat Frank jibes from opposing fans, and sometimes even his own, became relentless. It was a trial by fire. Many young players would have crumbled, but Lampard used it as fuel. Despite the constant noise, his talent began to shine through. The 1997-98 season was his breakthrough. He became a regular starter, his stamina, work rate, and eye for goal becoming increasingly evident. He scored his first hat-trick for the club against Walsall in the League Cup, and finished the season with a respectable 9 goals in all competitions. The following season, 1998-99, was even better. West Ham had a fantastic team, with talents like Paolo Di Canio, Rio Ferdinand, Joe Cole, and Michael Carrick. They played an exciting, attacking brand of football and finished 5th in the Premier League, qualifying for the Intertoto Cup. Lampard was central to the success, his box-to-box energy driving the team forward. He was no longer just the manager's nephew, he was one of the first names on the team sheet. In 1999, he made his senior England debut, fulfilling the first part of his uncle's prophecy. West Ham went on to win the Intertoto Cup, giving Lampard his first taste of European silverware and a spot in the UEFA Cup. His performances were earning him recognition not just at home, but across the continent. He was evolving from a promising youngster into a genuinely top-class midfielder. However, the foundations at West Ham were beginning to shake. The club's star defender, Rio Ferdinand, was sold to Leeds United in a record-breaking deal in November 2000. This decision signaled a lack of ambition to many, and it deeply affected the dressing room. Lampard, who was close friends with Ferdinand, was particularly disillusioned. He felt the club was selling its best players rather than building a team to challenge for top honors. The final nail in the coffin came in the summer of 2001. After a disappointing season, the board decided to part ways with Harry Redknapp and Frank Lampard Sr. With his father and uncle gone, Lampard's position at the club became untenable. The very ties that had been the source of so much controversy were now severed, and he knew his time at Upton Park was over. He felt betrayed by the board and believed he was being unfairly targeted. The atmosphere had turned toxic. It was time for a fresh start. Several clubs were interested, but it was Chelsea, under the management of Claudio Ranieri, who secured his signature for a fee of £11 million. The move was met with anger and disappointment by many West Ham fans. They saw it as another homegrown talent abandoning the club. For years, every time Lampard returned to Upton Park in a Chelsea shirt, he was met with a chorus of boos. The relationship was fractured, seemingly beyond repair. But looking back, Redknapp's prediction was astonishingly accurate. At Chelsea, Lampard didn't just go to the very top. He redefined the top. He became the club's all-time leading goal scorer, a midfielder, won 3 Premier League titles, 4 FA Cups, the Champions League and the Europa League. He became an undisputed legend of the game. His time at West Ham was a crucial, formative period. The pressure, the accusations, the hostile crowds, it all forged the mental resilience and unwavering determination that defined his career. He learned to silence the doubters not with words but with world-class performances. It wasn't the fairy tale homecoming many had hoped for, but the tough love of Upton Park was the making of Frank Lampard, the superstar. It's a complex legacy, but one that is absolutely fundamental to understanding the player he became. Thanks so much for watching. What are your memories of Lampard at West Ham? Let me know down in the comments. And if you enjoyed this trip down memory lane, please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more football stories. See you in the next one.